It's big, icy, hairy, and kinda scary. Welcome everybody. Today we're gonna talk about our newest contestant in the Pokemon Unite guide series. It's everything about Mamoswine, our newest defender in the line of Pokemon Unite Pokemon, and in this video I'm going to show you which strategies are the most effective, which battle and handle items help you the most when fighting with Mamoswine in Pokemon Unite, and what tips and tricks can help you to win fights with it more consistently. My name's Kay, and with that let's dive right in. Mamoswine has the difficulty intermediate and uses physical attack for its moves and abilities. That means every item which increases your attack damage also increases the damage of the attacks and of course the moves. It's a defender, so it's right with the lines of Blastoise and other candidates in Pokemon Unite. We're starting out on level 1 as Swinub, evolving into Piloswine on level 6 and then into Mamoswine on level 10. The first two moves we have to our disposal when starting out with Mamoswine are Ice Shard and Tackle. Ice Shard is simply an attack where we're throwing 3 chunks of ice to the designated location, and when all the 3 ice shards hit, the Pokemon in this location are getting freezed for a quick amount of time. And the other move is Tackle, which lets us rush into other enemies, which deals damage and also throws them a little bit away when hitting. When starting out with Mamoswine, you have 2 valuable options. I like to take Tackle with me because it helps me to get quicker into the lane and to of course hit multiple A-pumps when starting out. So you see, you have quite a big dash to get to them, shoving them a little bit, and if you see both of those A-pins on the top lane, you can dash through both of them and deal damage to help you get quicker to the middle spawn and get your lane wins quicker. The other ability at level 3 is Ice Shard, and you see, when throwing it, 3 of those ice chunks are getting into the place and freezing the enemy Pokemon for a quick amount of time, which also plays well with your passive ability Thick Fat. So if you even want to fight enemies at this early stage, you can harass them a little bit by placing Ice Shard in the right direction or position. On level 6 with the evolution to Piloswine, we're getting the moves Icicle Crash or Ice Fang. Icicle Crash also drops icicles into the designated location, which deals damage to the enemies and decreases their movement speed for a short time. After the final icicle shatters after a set amount of time, or when we hit it by one of our moves or boosted attack, it deals damage as well and leaves them frozen again. If we hit this big icicle with Tackle or high horsepower, the ground beneath is frozen and the movement speed for our allies and us is increased as well. With level 12, we are unlocking Icicle Crash Plus, which lets us with the final icicle leaving the enemy Pokemon unable to act for a short time. The other ability is Ice Fang. With that, we are piercing into enemy Pokemon and can throw them in front or behind us. That means not only they are frozen and thrown for a quick amount of time, but also we can control the direction where the Pokemon are getting thrown. On level 12 we're also unlocking Ice Fang Plus, which increases the area of effect where opposing Pokemon are left frozen after the slam. Because when the enemy Pokemon hits the ground, it also hurts other Pokemon in this area. On level 6 with the evolution to Piloswine, we're getting Icicle Crash, and you see the range is quite good and the area of effect as well. Dropping down all of them, it hits the enemies instantly, and with the big icicle in the middle, you're getting all those bonus effects with freezing or dealing additional damage. And of course, if you have the ability Tackle or high horsepower, you can dash into it and the ground is frozen like you see and the movement speed is increased. So combined with that in the early game, it can really help you to get off those quick moves, those quick hits, and getting all those movement speed to your allies as well. You see again, dashing into it, having those ice, and you can get away if you need to, or dash into the fight if you need to as well. The other choice at level 6 we get is Ice Fang, and you see when taking this A-Pam, dropping it down, it leaves it freezing for a short amount of time, but of course if hitting another enemy like this, in this case the range wasn't enough, let's wait quickly for some more enemies, you're dealing additional damage for every Pokemon that's in this range one again. You see you can drop it behind you, so you can stop them from getting away from you, but of course let me get to this poor A-Pam. Getting it, you can also throw it if you're using the move right in front of you, so you can keep it at your will and deal more damage and destroy them if needed. So a very good ability, and I think I even like it more than Icicle Shards because it helps you to control the position and of course the CC of the enemy more, and it helps you to get the enemies into the range of your teammates. Again, they're dropping it down and all the enemies are frozen, and you see that's a very good ability to keep those team fights at your control. And on level 8 we can choose between High Horsepower or Earthquake. High Horsepower is the improved Tackle, which lets us rush into one direction, dealing damage to the enemies and shoving them. Then we're stomping with the feet, dealing additional damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect, and of course we're also leaving them unable to act for a quick amount of time. When enemies are frozen, and that's a good thing, the stomping adds additional damage to the output. On level 14, we're unlocking High Horsepower Plus, which increases the speed and also the length of the time the opposing Pokemon are left unable to act. And the other choice is Earthquake, which lets us leap into the air and drop to the designated direction in a medium range, where we also deal damage to the enemy Pokemon and pulling them to us. On level 14, we're getting the Plus variant, which also decreases the movement speed of the enemy Pokemon for a short time when we hit, and it also increases the move's pulling power. And on level 10, with the final evolution to Mamoswine, we are getting our Unite Move Mammoth Mash. And on level 8, we are getting the improved tackle, in this case it's High Horsepower. You see the range is very good, and this poor little Corphish, we're gonna see it right now. We are dashing into it and we missed it, but the final circle shows you the stampede you're getting at the end. So if you want to hit it, you have to have a look at the marker. You can get the hit and then the stomp, which also leaves them unable to act for a short amount of time. And like I said, back with Icicle Crash, when dropping down, let's test it on this Apam, and then thrashing into the last shard, you see you're getting the movement speed, you're getting the CC, and you're getting the increased power with High Horsepower with the last jump. One time again, Icicle Crash, getting into them, stampeding, and you see how much damage Mamoswine can deal at those levels as well with the right moveset. And the other choice at level 8 is Earthquake, and this is probably the ability I like to take as well with Ice Fang. You see the range is very good, and we can jump there, drop down, stun the enemy for a quick amount of time, and then get back to the beating. So jump there, for example, hit them, Ice Fang, drop them in front of you, and then destroy them even more. And that's a very good amount of CC. And like I said in the beginning, Mamoswine has a lot of it. Like again, jump there, you have a very good range, hitting them with Ice Fang, getting them in front of you, and that's combined very effective when in big team fights or if you have to control the position of your enemies. One time again, getting to the sucking them into your range and then hitting them. So it's very effective for big team fights and to control them as you like. This lets us jump and stomp in the area of effect, and we become immune to hindrances. Then when stomping repeatedly to the ground, we are dealing of course damage to the enemy Pokemon and decreasing the movement speed for a short time as well. The final stomp also throws the enemy Pokemon in this area. And at level 10 we are getting our Unite move, and you're gonna see how much damage this can deal. The area of effect is okay for a melee attack type Pokemon, but you see, when using it, we're jumping, and every time we're stomping on the ground, we're dealing damage, and the final blow throws the enemy Pokemon into the air, leaving them unable to act for a short time. This can be a very good steal for an objective or to control enemies at a certain point, giving you more time with your team to deal damage that's needed, and of course giving a good damage output as well. So you see, all in all, a very funny and very effective Unite move with Mamoswine. The basic attack becomes boosted with every third hit, which deals additional damage to enemy Pokemon, and it also leaves them frozen for a short time when it hits. In addition to that, the basic attacks deal increased damage for a short time to the enemies when it's frozen with one of our moves. And then we have the passive, in this case it's Thick Fat. Every time we're dealing damage, our defense and special defense getting increased for a short time. This can happen up to 3 times. When we're using Ice Shard, Icicle Crash or Ice Fang, so all the ice moves, our next basic attack becomes boosted. In addition to that, you see that's quite a big passive ability. If any of these moves create a freezing area in an ally goal zone, it decreases the goal scoring speed of the enemy Pokemon inside that goal zone. Now let's take a look at the build and the health items for Mamoswine. I'm always going with Muscle Band, Focus Band and Body Barrier. Muscle Band not only increases the basic attack speed by a certain percentage, but also gives us an increased flat attack stat. And of course we're also dealing the damage by a certain amount of percent to enemy Pokemon based on their HP. It's a very good combination with Mamoswine because, like I said, it's a physical attacker and helps us to get more hits quicker and to freeze enemies more often. Focus Band helps us especially because we have a very high health pool, increases not only our special defense and defense for a certain amount of stat types, but also recovers some HP when we are getting below a certain threshold, which helps us to increase our survivability even more. And of course Body Barrier, not only for the flat amount of HP we're getting, but of course for the shield every time we use a Unite move, because we and our ally with the lowest amount of HP in our area gets it as well. So this helps us with big team fights or when fighting over objectives like Dreadnought or Zapdos. If you want to play Mamoswine a little bit more offensive but not lose all of your survivability, you of course can also take Score Shield. This gives us as well more HP, it leaves out the healing aspect, but of course you're getting a shield based on the max HP when scoring a goal. Combined with the shield of Body Barrier, this can be a very good strategy when trying to score goals with Mamoswine. Now let's take a quick look at battle items, and I can always recommend Eject Button because every 70 seconds we're getting a dash to get into or out of fights. That gives us more mobility to increase our possible options of moves when fighting with Mamoswine. Other options that are always good are also X Speed or X Attack, increasing our speed or attack and special attack for a short time if you want to get a little bit more offensive or to have some other movement abilities with X Speed and also losing all the hindrances that are on us. And you know what happens now? It's time for the question of the day, dear friends. And today I want to know, who's your most favorite Ice-type Pokemon? Write it down in the comments, let me know. I really want to know who's your beloved one. You see, it's not only big on the screen, but also big in fights. Mamoswine has some very cool movesets, and now that we know which battle and health items and what movesets are available, let's take a look at some gameplay scenes where I've been using it, and I want to show you how to use it in the most effective way. So let's have fun and take a look. These are moments from the early game with Mamoswine, and you see, with a good placed ice shard, you can really harass the enemy team with some well-placed moves. You see, again, with Alolan Ninetales combined, we are hitting both of the enemies very strong, and even Talonflame goes almost down with the last hits, but with the healing from the goal and the additional shield it's getting, we cannot get it quite done. But then Venusaur is also trying to get into it, and I'm trying again with Alolan Ninetales. There are the ice shards, we are freezing the Venusaur, and I see Talonflame is almost down, and we're getting it with Alolan Ninetales. And then I hope, oh no, my teammate is down, I hope to get them with the frozen move, and I'm inting a little bit too much, and that's why we've lost this. But you see how effective you can be even at early game. With the evolution to Piloswine, you see we have Icicle Crash in this gameplay. And there's our Greninja, and again we're trying with those moves and hitting this Charizard very hard with the stun, and we're getting a little bit back, and you see with the combined Focus Band how much sustainability you're getting, and we're almost back at half health. And there's Venusaur trying to hit us with a Solar Beam, dealing some damage, but we can get away. So now is the scenario to get back, to get some berry and our health back up. And now I knew, okay, there is this Venusaur. Again with Alolan Ninetales, we're hitting it with our shard, freezing it, and then defeating it finally to get those points down. Here I was really eager to use my Unite move to defeat the enemies at the bottom, because we want to get a free field for Dreadnought. There it is, there's the Ice Crash, and we're trying to hit it, but it's getting back to the goal. There's the Solar Beam against the Alolan Ninetales, and you see I have High Horsepower and Icicle Crash. And there it is, that all the enemies are getting into it, and then I'm hoping with the Unite move finally we're dealing a huge amount of damage, but we cannot get both of them down because Talonflame sweeps with his Unite move back to the middle, and Venusaur gets pushed by me into the berry, which is quite unfortunate. And now it was time for the final 2 minutes. Everything is up at level 12, and I was trying to deal my best available moveset and damage to the enemies. And you see, with this Stampede and with everything, there is Talonflame, and we have it down with Alolan Ninetales. I see, okay, this was a very good play with almost all of the health. There's the enemy Mamoswine. Of course, it's released just now, so it's dealing good damage. And then I knew, okay, the health is so low, let's take them down. And we have 2 of them left, and I see, okay, pushing them away. But now it's a 3v1. What should I do? I know that Focus Band is healing me back up, so I'm trying to get away and stalling them a little bit. There are 3 of them down, 1 was just at the base, and now I see there's Garchomp. So again, we're trying to hit it because nobody's here, and I know, we shouldn't fight for Zapdos too hard because it could be stolen. But there's the enemy Mamoswine, and I see, okay, finally we have to take it out first, and pushing us both away. This was the hit, and I see what this pesky little Cinderace wanted to do, and it succeeded, and it hurt so much. Here now some scenes with Ice Fang and Earthquake, and you see there's the Garchomp with Ice Fang. We're getting it back to our team. It's trying to get into the Rotom again, but no, we taking it to our teammates and dealing more damage, critting it down together. And there it is, all our teams against theirs. And again, Earthquake getting into it, the Unite move of Pikachu trying to hit them all. We have our Unite move, there's the enemy Mamoswine, we're getting it, and the Eldegoss trying to get away. I say nope, Ice Fang getting it back, and so we could clear this lane, get into it, and again with Rotom we could clear the whole goal. What a nice finish. And here again, Ice Fang and Earthquake, and just to show you how much survivability and mobility you're getting with both of those two moves. We have enough time to get back to our Garchomp, which is using the Unite move, and we had some lags there, I know. But again, with Ice Fang, putting them on the side we want them, and we have enough time with the Garchomp together to defeat them and win those team fights. Our big chunky friend is a very good addition to the roster of defenders in Pokemon Unite. You see, the Ice-type moves help to get more crowd control out of Mamoswine than many other Pokemons in this case, and you can be really effective when placing your right and using your moves effective way to get the enemies to your allies and then defeat them with multiple strong hits. I really like Mamoswine and I have to take a more closer look when looking at the moveset, but I have some of my favorites like Ice Fang, which helps you really good when you want to dominate the game. If you like this video, if you could take anything helpful out of it, I'd be tremendously happy if you could support it with a like and of course a subscription for the channel as well. In this case, we can show YouTube that these videos are helpful, you liking them, and you can help me grow this channel even more to get more people into the Pokemon Unite community and have more fun when climbing those ranked ladders or just having fun in the standard games. My name's Kay, thanks for your time and for your view, and I hope we see you soon. If you want to see any other guides, have a look at the channel and see you soon. Bye bye.